The fragile peace process in Manipur has suffered a major setback. Nearly a month after 6 Naga villagers were abducted, security forces have recovered their bodies from Kangpokpi district. The development comes barely a day after the release of 14 Kuki hostages, triggering anger, protest and renewed ethnic tensions across the state. The recovery of the 6 bodies has sparked widespread outrage among Naga organizations. The UNC has called a 24-hour shutdown across Naga inhabited areas. Authorities remain on high alert and fears further escalation. Let's pay the pipe.
There is no place of violence in humanity. Whatever the grievances in the program, we should have talk, discussion. Only then every crisis should bring through dialogue, and the peace can be prevail in the state of Manipur.
Nagaland's Chief Minister Neiphiu Rio has strongly condemned the killing, describing this horrific and inhuman act. Rio said that the deaths are especially painful because Naga organization had facilitated the safe release of 14 hostages, hoping to build trust and peace. He has now demanded swift justice and accountability. Political reactions are pouring in from across the northeast. Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad Sangma has termed the killings as senseless act of violence, while the UNC has demanded KNFP to be designated as a terrorist organization and called for a stronger action against those responsible. Emotions ran high as the bodies arrived at the JNIMS mortuary in Imphal. Thousands gathered to receive the remains, leading to clashes with security personnel. Tear gas had to be used after protesters attempted to breach security arrangements, underlining the volatile atmosphere surrounding the case. Manipur CM Mr. Singh had assured that the state government will not remain a nude spectator. The investigation has been handed over to NIA, while authorities say every effort is being made to identify and track and prosecute those behind the killings. Now, former CM has also condemned the killing. Even as tensions rise over the hostage killings, fresh violence has erupted in Kamjong district. Armed assailants attacked Kultu village, killing 2 residents, injuring 2 others and torching several houses. Security forces have launched search operations to track down those responsible.
As of now, investigation is going on and then identifications of body will be shortly done. And the cases have been handed over to NIA, and Manipur police will be assisting NIA with all sincerity and with all our strength. We'll support the investigation to be done by NIA in this case.
The sequence of events has raised difficult questions about trust and reconciliation in Manipur. While Naga groups facilitated the safe release of 14 Kuki hostages, appeal for the release of 6 Naga captives ended in tragedy. Now, let me introduce my guest to you. I'm joined by
and Mr. Neiphiu, Chief Minister of Nagaland, and also the church parties. In fact, they intervened for release of these 14 Kukis from the Naga custody, and I salute them that the peace process, they started it. But you see, in your channel, I hope I have already spoken that it is very difficult to bring back these 6 Nagas, whether they are alive or not. I have spoken it very clearly here. And I can well tell you, as the United Naga Council is demanding the KNFP to be designated as a nation, that is a different demand that has to be looked into by the government, by the state government. But I can well say the KNF, whose president is there, they say something Kipgen, that's the husband of our Deputy Chief Minister Kipgen. But things are pretty bad in Kangpokpi and also in Ukrul. And you see in Kamjong district what has happened. Kamjong is a border district. There also things have started. There were 2 killings in Kamjong district. So violence is there. I can tell you there are three positive points for which this is happening. Number 1, this Burma Act. Number 2, your money. This is particularly the church money which is coming. The third is drugs money. These three
Okay.
are playing a big role. And particularly the CM has already stated that it's a peace, security, and law and order problem. Will definitely he will look into that, and he is trying his
Okay.
best for mutual respect and dialogue between all communities.
Okay, let me quickly
I
take.
hope he
Okay,
will
okay. Let me take opening comments from everyone.
Yeah.
Professor Biswas, your opening comments.
Yeah, the today's killing at Kultu village has added to more blood, as Vishnaji has already pointing out. And it's a village near Burma, and it is suspected that a militant of 80 number across the border entered and they committed mayhem, and the Kuki village volunteers have fought them. Now, coming back to this entire episode of hostage, we have to remember who took the hostage first. The Irang Naga villagers have taken the hostage first, and from there the crisis rolled on. So this crisis has a certain dimension of retaliatory dimension, the blocking of the road by a certain Naga section for a long time. So all these past histories, which are not really palatable to regurgitate here, actually tells us that 11 plus 2, 13 cookies have been eliminated. So there is a kind of a retaliatory angle in it. So I would wish that security forces now map the vulnerable Kuki villages, the vulnerable Naga villages, the vulnerable Meitei areas. And everywhere, security forces must have their guns up, and they should really know whom they are targeting and how they are securing these villages and the vulnerable areas.
Okay,
That's absolutely essential.
Colonel Sapam, is it very? Can I say that the sectorization of Manipur is complete? It is becoming impossible for ethnic minorities to stay in majority areas of different ethnicities.
Kartike, good evening. A very sad news. My condolences to the bereaved family.
Yes.
See, my concept is totally different from what the other, what the professor is speaking, I can sit with Lamjathang Haukim here in Imphal today after I can have dinner tonight. See, there is a gap in understanding. There's a lot of gap in the understanding. Professor is not speaking about the 6 Naga people who have been killed. I don't want anybody killed from Manipur, yeah?
Yes.
I want those Nagas also to be alive, the 14 Kukis also to be alive, everybody to be alive. But we need to understand what is happening around. It is not safe. I'm asking one question to Lamjathang. If I ring up today, now, this program, if I tell you, Lamjathang, let's go and have a dinner in this thing, a restaurant over here, he will come, yeah? There's no difference between me and him. What's the ethnic class? There's no ethnic class. Professor, please. There's no ethnic class over here.
Don't talk like this. Don't talk like this.
I'm telling you, yeah? You are
keeping your perspective. I respect it. But I will not agree with you at all. I have to keep my perspective. Don't try to target me and say. Please say your statement. That is how we carry out a decent debate. Yeah.
Please, yeah, let me see. I'm talking something logic, yeah? 6 Naga people have been, their body has been chopped into small pieces.
Okay, let's not get into that. Okay, I mean to say, Colonel Sapam, you would understand that. Dignity after death. Let's not describe, let's not get into those details. Dignity after death. I believe in that strongly. They have died. It should not have happened. They have been killed. Sorry, not died. They have been killed. Opening comments, Mr. Haukip.
Kartike, the recovery of the 6 dead bodies is quite, a relief for the family, because it is a clear picture has been coming up. The fate of these 6 dead body has been confirmed. So it's quite good news in one way for the family, despite being the sadness and sorrow for the last 29 days. And one thing is very clear. You see, the Thadao Church pastor were killed, and then subsequently one Chiru Naga was killed again. Another 6 Nagamen were abducted after all the extents of the hostages. You see, if we look into it, the bodies of these Nagas, 6 Nagas have been recovered. Now, I want to raise few questions here about the government and the chronology. There are many things that had happened, including today in the last 29, 30 days, 18 people have died, including the 6 people. Now, you see, government say that NIA, they have handed over the 6 missing bodies to the NIA on 23rd, 24th May. But when the High Court took up the proceeding, you see the NIA report that they are not yet in receipt of the recommendation from the government. You see, and then on the other hand, 450 police personnel were deployed for the last 24 hours before the recovery, right after the release of the hostages. If you look into it, the search was started from 14 May. From 14 May to June 9, what was the government doing? So my question here is, since when did the government knew about the death of the 6 Nagas? There has been lots of social media as well as in the report coming up that there was immediately the government of Manipur already got the knowledge that the 6 Nagas were already killed on the spot on that very day itself. But why did it take more than 27 days to announce to the public? Because at least 7-8 dead bodies could have been avoided. And on the other hand, let me just finish up. So on the other hand, if you look into it, the Manipur government as well as the CSOs, everybody involved should be highly appreciated. But the way how the government put up the pre-plan and arrange in such a way that right after the hostages were released, the 6 dead bodies have been recovered, and then there has been lots of retaliation. And then UNC and Kuki in Manipur, who have been a good friend for the last so many years, could not sit together at this in all these hostages issue. One thing is very clear: the UNC made it very clear that all these things have been right from the day one. UNC made it very clear that this is purely because the militant leader wife being a part of the Manipur government makes the situation more complex. That gives an impunity to them. This is the main reason why there has been lots of delay in the handover of the process.
Okay, Brijesh.
Well, I think what has happened has dealt a body blow to already fragile peace atmosphere of Manipur. It was punctuated by killing, but in the last almost 20 days, a situation has again gone from bad to worse. The killing of 6 Naga has literally dealt a body blow. Now we have to just be ready for a periodic killing of one ethnicity or another. The second part is that I completely agree with Mr. Hauke on one thing, which is that the government or the security forces apparatus role has been more of a reactive role rather than proactive role. There have been the launch of trying to find out, launch of operation to find out where these 6 people, 6 Naga hostages were kept, or in 450 people were searching and they were not able to find out. I mean, it really speaks volumes about the kind of intelligence inputs they are getting. It really speaks volumes about the kind of grip they have as far as the lay of the land is concerned. And I think they are always 2 steps behind rather than be 1 step ahead. In the last 3 years as we speak, the guns are still out in the open. People still have access to guns. Yes. It may seem very repetitive, that every single time you repeat it. But the irony of the thing is that it is one issue which has to be dealt with if you really want an end, or at least to dent the narrative, the violent narrative which is going on.
Okay, I'm also joined by Professor Xavier Pima, political commentator. He joins me from Shillong. Sir, your opening comments on the bodies that were recovered, sir.
Well, from the statement that the Kuki underground group to the Zelarong United Front and others indirectly hinted that the 6 Naga men were already killed on 13 May itself. But they were, I don't know why they were not directly telling. And then, of course, the Jawaharlal Nehru Institute of Medical Sciences will tell whether they were also tortured or not. The report will tell. So from the Naga side, at least the 14 Kukis who were detained were well treated. They were even fed well. Therefore, they had the high moral ground. They had maintained the humanity. But I think the way the Kuki armed group had instantly eliminating the 6 Nagas is not in the right direction. It does not speak well. And I do not know what will be the further repercussion it may have. We may try to build up a good opinion about the human rights and then the larger good of humanity. But if such an attitude is there, then it is very difficult to control other armed, even Naga groups.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Mishra, do you think that this will activate the third community even more?
Yes, Karthikeyan, definitely you are correct in your opinion, and I agree with Mr. Vijay. Things are going out of control. Earlier also I told you how many you keep on see increasing number of battalions, whether Cobra or any type of battalions you bring, nothing will happen in Manipur. You see, I'll just give you one instance. What has happened in Ukurul Nohrai Kapchang place? 8 persons, 8 militants were captured yesterday with weapons. They were disarmed and they were released and won. What do you
Where
mean by
where
this?
did this
It
happen?
really,
Where has this
yeah,
been
yeah,
reported?
it happened yesterday at Ore Kapchang in Ukrul area. 8 persons were apprehended with weapons. They were disarmed, the weapons were recovered, they were won and released. What do you
Okay.
mean by this? This is what is happening in the Manipur. And I really appreciate the way Mr. Brajesh spoke. You see what has happened in Kamjong. If we bring this battalion, where to deploy? A person who knows it, he can deploy. You see, you get the dead bodies only when 14 cookies were released on Tuesday. On Wednesday, you get the dead bodies. What were you doing from 13th May till now? And it is a sorry state of affairs of intelligence. And in fact, what they are doing, something very wrong, drastically wrong for the coordinated movement, coordinated operations in the hill. That is, in fact, I can tell you the intelligence is zero in Manipur. I am sorry to tell it. Another thing I can add it's not, it's about the implicity, complicity of KNFP. We have to keep a check what is happening with KNFP. Definitely, there are some groups of Sioux. It's not that Sioux should be abrogated, but there are some particular groups in Sioux, they are indulging in violence, and we have to look into that, and they have to be banned.
Okay.
I'm very sure they have
Okay.
to be banned.
Is this correct?
And the border.
Is this correct, Mr. Lamjatang Hauke? The certain Sioux groups are active here?
You see, you cannot rule out the involvement of the Sioux group here because Sioux basically means the engagement between the KNO, UPF, and Government of India. That's the name of the engagement. But the engagement also includes certain ground rules. The ground rule is not effectively implemented on the ground. What the ground rule says and what is happening on the ground is totally a sharp contrast. You see, if there is element of truth, right from day one, there have been a huge allegation on the part. But it was also a well-calculated move. You cannot underestimate the, experience of the Kukis. When 1921 of the, Nagas were initially in Litan, when they were, kept under hostages, 2 of the Kukis were killed by the Nagas. That's how they have alleged. In that sense, the Kuki have already experienced how hostage situation pressure have got. Similarly, the Nagas have got equal pressure when they have got 14 people alive. On the other hand, the Kuki side, both UPF, KNO, clearly mentioned that these 6 people are not on their custody, as well as the Kuki in Manipur, right from day one denied this thing. They don't have any knowledge about these 6 missing people. On the other hand, you see, I keep on questioning about the government. I mean, like, you see, one thing is very clear. I'm not interested in speculation. If you just analyze the facts, what has been unfolding in the last 30 days, you see 6 abducted men were missing for the last 28 days. You see, if you look into it, the detainees were released on 9 June, and the very next day, these dead bodies were, recovered. You see, it's not a coincidence. It's purely a decision being, managed behind the screen. So if you look into the government, have all, lost. People have lost trust in the government. So in this way, if there is, as long as mistrust is there in the government, I don't see Kartike, justice as well as restoration will happen. Any community should first have trust in the government. So the way how government has been handling the last 30 days, people are having hopeless over this government. This is the main problem, what the ground situation, what Manipur is facing at the moment. So government of India,
Mr. Sapam, will it have an impact on the security grid? Do you think it can impact the security grid? Now the third community getting into this quagmire?
See, Kartika, it's very complicated now. It's very complicated, and what Lamsatang had said, it's absolutely correct. The government has to be very strong now. Yeah? They have to come with an iron hand. Otherwise, things are going to go out of hand, and then thereafter, I don't know where we are going to head for. It's very sensitive. Security, intelligence, and everything, and the government will, by the state government as well as the central government, they have to come down very seriously.
Okay.
You cannot go on like this.
Okay.
And in the I'm just getting worried now in the next 1 or 2 days, what is going to happen? And today I'm speaking on today I'm speaking on internet today. No? I'm taking part in this thing. In another 2 or 3 days, I don't know whether I'll be able to take part in the discussion. It's so severe now.
Okay, I'll quickly. You have a point. You have a point. There have been days where earlier when 2023-24, I was not able to connect with a lot of people. I'll quickly take closing comment from Professor Prasanjit Biswas and then Professor Mao. Professor Biswas.
Yes, the vulnerable villages of all communities in Kangpokpi, Ukhrul, Kamjong have to be now secured. That's primary task. The second thing, so that retaliation and hostage taking do not recur again. On that, there should be a dialogue between Kuki civil society groups and Naga civil society groups. UNC and Kuki civil society groups must have a dialogue. And this dialogue has to be carried out with the assistance of the state. And therefore, there's a situation of mourning and grief. And we are in deep grief at this moment. And grief should teach us how we secure ourselves from this kind of an attack and counter.
Okay. Yeah. Professor Mao, your closing comment, and then I end the show.
Well, you see, even at the time of exchange of the detainees or hostages, when 12 Naga women were released, Nagas have released more than that. Nagas were quite generous. And even Nagas started taking hostage only after a series of Nagas had been taken hostage by the Kukis. That is at Ponsakul earlier, and then at Litang, 21 Tangkul, and then even again the latest at Ponsakul. Only after that, the Naga started taking the hostage. Therefore, unless on the part of the Kuki armed group, unless they exercise logical reasoning and some kind of restraint, I think Nagas cannot come down very, very heavily. Although I, as a human, I will advocate for humanity in mind, but then it will be very difficult to control, you see. And then another thing is the government of India, particularly the Home Ministry, should also make it very clear that the security forces, armed forces, are absolutely neutral. Among the Nagas, there is also a lot of apprehension and a lot of allegation. Particularly the Assam rifle is siding with the Kukis.
Okay. I think that's where we should slightly refrain from. I respect your opinion, but let's not politicize the movement of our forces. Exactly. That's my submission, and I thank you all of you for joining me for this conversation. But our reportage on Manipur will continue, and this is all I have tonight. I'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Thank you and good night.
आज सम्मान निधि की ये योजना देश के छोटे किसानों के लिए सामाजिक सुरक्षा का एक माध्यम बन गई। एक क्लिक से करोड़ों किसानों के बैंक खाते में सीधे पैसा जमा होता है। दुनिया के विकसित देशों में भी ऐसा संभव नहीं है।
When stories of transformation are rooted in the soil, they reflect a picture of prosperity like this. These are the prosperous and empowered farmers of New India. Behind the success of the country's food providers lies not just their hard work, but also impactful policies of the Government of India focused on farmers' welfare. In 2019, the PM Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme was launched to address the financial needs of the farmers across the country. Under this scheme, farmers receive financial assistance of 6,000 rupees every year, transferred directly into their bank accounts in 3 equal installments. The scheme has already seen the release of its 17th installment, continuing direct benefit support to millions of farmers.
प्रधानमंत्री किसान सम्मान योजना से गरीब किसानों के लिए बहुत ही लाभदायक यह योजना है। किसान सम्मान निधि योजना से मिलने से खाद या बीज सही समय में खरीद पाते हैं। इससे किसानों का बहुत ही भलाई एवं राहत मिल रहा है।
In 12 years of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's public service, India's agriculture sector has written a new chapter of growth. The vision of seed to market has transformed farmers from being just food providers into self-reliant, empowered entrepreneurs, giving them a new identity in a rapidly changing India.
Amid a fragile ceasefire, stakeholders take on the tough questions.
Was Israel surprised by the asymmetric warfare which Iran started conducting?
Yes, I think it was kind of surprised the level of savagery.
Why has Iran stopped the traffic in the Strait of Hormuz?
So we have to defend ourselves.
Like never before, on point with Kartikeya Sharma, decoding Hormuz, Kharg and the ceasefire.
What is the future of peace in West Asia?
I hope that they got their lesson.
That are supposed to give a chance. We stay ready in case it doesn't work.
Every war has a political objective.
The voices that matter only on News9.
Why has Iran stopped the traffic in the Strait of Hormuz?
They want to attack us, they want to target us, so we have to defend ourselves.
They are punishing countries outside the region as well, like India, and like countries in South and East Asia.
The big problem that they've created now is the closure of the strait.
Ultimately, the main purpose of this exercise is, frankly, to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon.
Whenever they've got involved in a war on behalf of somebody else, there isn't been just an altruistic purpose.